Hello, all. Welcome to Miracles of Consciousness Radio. I'm Sally Knopp. And in the video you're about to see is between myself and my client, Suzette. Now, Suzette does some coaching on how to properly manifest. And it wasn't too long ago, she ended up in big trouble. And she called me and she said, Sally, my life turned into a train wreck. And she goes, I used to be able to manifest all positive things. Help. And so we did. And this video walks you through where she was. She was manifesting all positive things, and then suddenly she wasn't. And likely this has happened to you too. So take a look at this video, and if it inspires you, that is beautiful. If you would like some help, if you're struggling with positive manifestation, and maybe you are a great manifester and like Suzette, found that you are no longer bringing forth anything but negativity, give me a shout. Go on sallyknopp.com. That is my name, sallyknopp.com. And reach out to me and we'll figure out what's going on. But for now, let's take a listen to Suzette. Thank you for watching. The stream is live. Here we are. Hi, Suzette.
Hello, Sally. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. You look beautiful. I love the background.
Oh, thank you so much. It's just one piece I have right now. I'm in transition, right?
Right. And that's what we're going to talk. Oh, my goodness. I have goosebumps. This is what I'm so excited to talk about.
I know.
So, honestly, this is what we were talking about before we went live. And I said, we need to tell this story because your story is not so uncommon with what so many people are dealing with. And so I think we need to talk about what happened to you when you moved back from Florida to Indiana, because I'm telling you, I know your clients are going to love that. I know my clients would love to hear your story too.
Yeah. So what happened is I moved back, and I believe that I'm being guided always. The universe is guiding me from wherever. So I'm coming back to Indiana, and then my grandma gets sick and I'm staying with my mom. And there's other family members that live there too. And it's not a very high vibe situation. So there's a lot of toxicity in there. And at first I don't even feel anything. Everything's fine. And then it's just, I think over time, it just wears on me and wears on me. And finally I've had enough, and I said, I have to leave. And during this time, I wanted to go back a little bit. During this time, I am trying to find a home. Because I'm staying with my mom right now, or not now, but then. And then I'm trying to find a home, and I couldn't find one. Like every house that I went to, it was so funny. It would go pending like later that day or the next morning. It was like none of the houses were for me.
Well, let me stop you right there, because you know what? This is pivotal. I mean, most people say, it is hard to get a house in this environment because of the way the real estate is. But you have been always a master manifester, where you can just generate it. My thought, my feelings always aligned, and you were able to go out there and grab the world by its backside. I mean, when you took the leap to move to Florida, logic said don't do it, but you went with how you manifested. And I think in order to give better context to those people who are struggling like you were, give the context. I think it might help that you were a manifester and then it stopped, because it doesn't matter if you have been a manifester in the past or not. It gives you clarity why, when we're talking about what happens in the future with you, why it's so important to set this up right in order to get the positive manifesting. I think it's that journey that intrigues me, and I know it's going to intrigue your clients, and I know it's going to intrigue mine. So give us a little bit of background and then come back to that. That's what I'm thinking needs to be heard by a ton of people. So go ahead.
Okay. So yes, I could manifest anything. I was manifesting beach homes. I mean, actually, I went to Florida and moved into an apartment, and I was driving by this beach house, And they were like, my inner self, my higher self said, go over there. You can move here. And I'm like, what? I just moved. And I got the beach house right on the ocean, $300 to move in. It was like easy, easy. I mean, it was manifestation, because how else would it be? You know, nobody gets their dream house for $300, especially in Florida. So, and before that, I had manifested a lot of things that I've ever wanted, you know, but I knew that when I moved back, I was in this vibration of, I wasn't manifesting. I didn't see angel numbers, and that's something I commonly see. I wasn't feeling high vibe, and I was doing the things that I knew what to do. I was doing the meditation. I was going to the gym, working out, like all the physical things that they were saying, but because the people, the surrounding, the environment was really weighing me down, and it was taking away from my manifestation. Now, I do want to say this. Thank God, higher self, whoever you believe in, that I did not manifest it into the toxic situation, because I believe that we manifest at a level that we are. So if I was in that kind of manifesting, or I was in that kind of a vibration, I want to manifest a house that was in that vibration. As soon as I left, whoa, I started manifesting. Everything started coming back to me, angel numbers, all the stuff. I slept for 3 days so hard I couldn't even hardly get out of the bed. It was like my nervous system was regulating. And I manifested a house in 3 days. It was so exciting.
Astounding. I know, so astounding. And for the money, I am a broker in Florida. I have a Florida real estate license. I don't live in Florida now, but I still carry an active license. And I have to tell you, a $300 beach home is non-existent, even in the rental market.
That's why you know it's manifested from, you know,
the angels, your higher self, the angels, you know, it was so divinely brought together to you. I feel that intensely. And
yes.
that's just because you were in complete alignment.
Yes.
Right?
And you have to be in alignment. That's very important. You know, and when I was at my mom's house, and I love my mom and all that, but I was trying to do all the things to manifest. And I think we all manifest every day, I believe, but the universe, God, my angels knew that I wanted to manifest the best thing that I could. And in that vibration, I did not. And it was like they were putting a stop to it. I think we even talked about it, Sally. Like you said, you are divinely being guided right now, like protected. I think you told me that I was being protected. And I believe that, because I was thinking, once I got out of the situation and was able to realize that's what was going on, then I was like, oh, thank God for the protection, because
right. And so
something crazy.
Right. So you moved back, and you felt like you needed to come back for family reasons, and that's why you did it. But yeah, and you moved in with your mother for these reasons. Your mother is older, things are happening, but old patterns began to set. And I think we all do that. I did that. I do great when I'm amongst other people, but bring in my family, I'm suddenly baby Sally, you know, and we sort of go into the old patterns. And not only did you slip back into that old pattern energetically, how I saw it, but your mom does not think the way you think, I think would be the way to say that. And for you, it felt like you were slipping backwards. And you called me and you said, Sally, how can I not manifest? I manifest everything. Why? And tell me, I remember you saying this to me, Sally, tell me I can manifest this, you know, the way I'm doing right now. You know, I'm like, no, you can't. Do you remember when I said that? You can't. You're not going to be able to do it where you are. You want to tell them about that part?
Well, I want to tell them that about your skills, for one, because every single time that something's going on with me, I don't know what kind of connection Sally has, but she will call me. I was in the park, like in tears, and she called me, and it was like she knew that I needed her. Just like today, something's happened and she's called me and we need to connect. And at the park, I was talking and she heard, and she said, you're back in your childhood. And that clicked right there. That's what I needed to hear. I was being back in my 5-year-old childhood with the patterns from the past. And I said, thank you for, we always need that other person to come in and help me. I do. A lot of people will say, well, I don't need another person. I can do it by myself. It's so much better when you have that other person for support, and just people see things that we don't see. A lot of us are just, narrow minded, but no, I realized that I was in my 5-year-old self, took my power back. I remember you said, take your power back. I took my power back as my adult self, who I am now. And I said, this is enough. And I've had enough. And in a couple of days I was going, and I also took my manifestation back. I was started manifesting again. So.
In a positive way, because we always manifest.
Yes.
It's what vibe are we bringing in? If we're negative, if we feel negative, and I think when we feel negative, we get negative. So it's what you put out, you get back. And so I said, you're not going to be able to manifest positively when you're sitting in a toxic soup. Now, whether or not the environment was toxic or not, you perceived it as toxicity for you. Realizing that you're an adult woman and you're picking up your childhood reactions puts you in a state of mind that affects your emotions, that then imprints the quantum field. So let's talk about, once we made that, and then we went ahead, because you had built up some, what we call, you stacked in that energy and it got trapped again. We cleared that energetically, and you tell them how you felt when we cleared that energy, and then what happened next, because that's where this story gets really interesting.
Now, sorry. What are we talking about again?
Okay, you were sitting on the rock. We cleared the trapped energy that you had created, because there's either inactive or active energy. And you were sitting there, you were feeling bad. We had a conversation. We went ahead and we cleared all that energy out, and then take your power back. And you had a different mindset, because when we hold on to trapped emotional energy, what Dr. Bradley Nelson talks about, it sends off track how we perceive and how we think. So we cleared all that trapped emotional energy that was beginning to build up in you. We cleared that. You took a deep breath and you said, you know what? I am going to go take my power back.
Yeah.
And then
I wasn't thinking right. Yeah. I wasn't thinking right at all. And I didn't realize it actually. I mean, when I took my power back, and then it was kind of like a shock moment, because I was taking my emotions back and letting them go through me instead of letting them run me, because that's what I was doing. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm in my 5-year-old self. Oh my God, I'm a victim. It's running me to, no, let's let this go through. Took my power back, got out of the toxic situation that I created and believed that was still going on, because actually this stuff was just going on when I was in childhood, but stuff stays in our body. So, the feelings and all that were still there, the emotions. And then when I came to my daughter's
cleared it. Yep, until we cleared it. And then you were able to, and then you were able to.
I went to my daughter's house. When we cleared it, I went to my daughter's house, and like my nervous system regulated. The next day I started seeing angel numbers, and I knew that I was back online. But it was, Sally helped me clear with her energy healing. And I teach in my energy healing, like attracts like energy. And I always say,
that's what I love about your work, is when you're doing coaching by Suzette. So why I love working with you, honestly, is because we can take people who have trapped emotional energy, get that cleared, but they have to take the next step.
Yes.
Because otherwise, once we hit the reset button, like that was easy, that reset button.
Right.
If you do not take ownership of your own emotions and your thoughts, you're back on the hamster wheel, and you might feel good for a while, but then you'll recreate it. So those of us who've had like Reiki healings, we do Reiki and we feel better for a while. Well, the reason it doesn't stay is because we're in those thought patterns. And that's what I love about you, is that you take people from where I sit and then you say, okay, now let's work on changing the thought pattern so you don't recreate the trapped emotional energy, right? It's that taking them into a new level, or what I call igniting their superhuman.
Right.
So.
And I've done a couple of my clients, and this is crazy. So one of my friends, I said, let me help you out. She was telling me all about her life. And I said, well, let's look at it this way. She looked at it a different perspective. She literally lost 15 pounds when she left the toxic situation. Then she ended up manifesting a guy that treated her like gold, gave her flower. I mean, and all it was is changing her beliefs and then sticking with them, not going back to the old, because that's, like you said, when you go back to the old, you're just getting right back in the trap. And here's the thing. Sometimes, unless you're a very aware person, you don't know you're back there until
Right, exactly.
Like, you're back there, Suzette. You're back there.
Remember?
Part of that. Yes, you were a big part of that. I swear. I was like going to the park, like, I'm going to clear this. Sally calls me and is like, you're in your 5-year-old. Oh my. And it just, you need that help. I don't care what anybody says. I know some people say, well, I don't need help. We do. We all need help.
Well, we never see ourselves as others see us. And that's where you have what I call the hidden person, that we have to get that cleared out. If you don't get cleared out, the hidden person, then that subliminal programming that we all have, nobody's exempt from it, will kick in a lot faster. And when you take people and say, okay, now that your energy's cleared, isn't it nice that we can now set a new path for manifesting? Now, once you got that, I'm taking my power back.
Yeah.
That's the point I want you to go forward and say, what happened next with you and your house? Because that's cool.
I can't not remember.
With your house, you called me and you said, oh my God, I got a house. And it was just like,
oh yeah, well, yeah. Then I manifested the house. Actually, this is so funny how it happened. My mother calls me and says, there's this house I want you to go look at. And I go look at it. I literally put the bid on it that day. And before that, weeks before that, I have a journal and I wrote down everything I want in the house. And it has everything that I want in the house. And it feels good vibration. I mean, I went in there and I can feel how everything feels. And I'm going to go in and just do it the way I want. But everything feels good. It's right on the road to my mom's house, which is something I wanted. It's like I manifested everything I wanted into the house and into the good vibration that I was in. And it was like I let go of my 5-year-old self and being the victim of that situation. And I got to manifest.
And the important key here is, and we can't lose sight, is that one of the things when you're in that park, I said, you've got to get out of the toxic soup, because part of that toxic soup was your mind playing, I'm the little girl again.
Right.
Yeah. And there's no power in being the little girl, right? So when it's when we worked on where you were, we cleared your energy, then you took the steps and you got yourself out of that environment.
Yes.
And as soon as you did that, it was like an ignition switch hit. And the next thing
you know,
boom, there's everything that you wanted. And that's why it's so important when you are trying to manifest, understand that you manifest 100% of the time. What you're receiving back is a mirror of what you're putting out. And if you're stuck in a toxic pool, how are you going to put anything out that's positive unless you really create the ninja mind? And you can. I mean, I've seen people do it, but you have to first become aware of it.
Right.
and then deal with it. How do I deal with it from where I sit? Because not everybody can change their lives into a positive place if, say, they're in a toxic marriage.
Right.
And you know what? I got to tell you, if I may, I've
Yeah.
had people in my clientele work that have contacted me several times because their marriages were not working out. And you know what? Through energy healing and clearing on both parties, I have not lost one couple to divorce since then. I mean,
Oh, I love that.
knock on wood, because you know
Right.
what? Nothing's ever 100%, and I don't want to be like, oh, look at me. The thing is
No.
that I try to tell everybody is the things that I do energy healing wise and
Yes.
activating people's DNA for clarity, psychic ability enhancement, and all that. The things that I do, any of your clients can do, any of my clients can do. You
Right.
just got to know how to do it. You know, it took me 10 years to get to where I am,
Right.
you know, and getting this all figured out. But you don't have to wait 10 years. But
No.
that's just it. You can definitely change wherever you are in life. You can change it for the positive. So,
Yeah. We have your shortcuts basically. Sally can
yeah.
clear the energy that you need to clear to get to your manifestation, back to the manifestation. Because yeah, I've literally had people before this telling me, please manifest me this, get me this. How are you doing this? Like wanting the formula. And I said, it's just, for me, it's perspective and changing my mindset. But I also wanted to say too, I had toxic mold and I came to Sally because the last part of it to get rid of it completely was emotional. And I did not know it at the time. And she helped me with that. And it's 100% gone. No doctors, just me and Sally. And going through the emotional code. Now, I'm not a professional at the emotional code, but she is. And she's helped me tremendously.
Well, I actually, I'm certified in the emotion code, but I've married Dr. Bradley Nelson to Dolores Cannon. So, as a QHHT practitioner, I
Right.
now understand the most important thing in energy healing, especially for your Reiki healers out there, is that you have to get the language exactly right. And if you don't have the right language when you're going through the energy healing process, you're throwing spaghetti against the wall. So
Right.
it's so important to to talk to the subconscious mind or the higher self in the computer language, if you will, in order for it to work correctly. And I
Right.
have found working with people, one word can change the entire meaning and feeling of a situation. One word.
Yes. I
And
believe
you
that.
gotta be so careful with it. But that's what we do. We work together and help people create new lives that they
Yeah.
are going to love and enjoy. And that's what I love working with you, Suzette.
Yeah. And my life has been 14 years ago, I became, or I woke up spiritually. I call it that, a spiritual awakening. And my life has changed. If you know me, and I'm sure anybody that's known me can tell, my life has totally changed. And it's nothing to do with, anything but looking at myself, reflection, energy healing, getting rid of all the stuff that no longer serves me. And now I'm getting stuff that I really want, and homes, and I manifest homes, money, and I'm talking free money, free homes, free, my dog's.
I was going to say, is that your dog? Suzette.
Come on, what do you want? Sorry, quit. I don't know what to do. Here.
Better pay attention to your dog.
I know I got to pay attention to my dog. But yeah, you can really manifest everything you want. Hold on. Come on. Come on. Come on. She's not moving, so I can't make her move. She's bigger than me. Come here, baby.
No. She's something else. She wants something. A walk,
Well,
attention.
I don't know. She shouldn't want anything. She wants me.
So, you know what's cool about the work that we do? We can talk to anybody anywhere. That's the other thing that I'm going to be doing a new video on. Um, Dolores Cannon, and on my videos on Miracles of Consciousness Radio on YouTube, I actually have videos of Dolores Cannon talking about her conversation with Nostradamus, the 15th century soothsayer, if you will.
Wow.
And that is powerful because she had probably 5 different clients that she put in the meditative state, and from consciousness to consciousness had a conversation from, from like one continuous conversation through 5 different people about what his quatrains actually meant. And so it was so interesting because, like, I might be working with Debbie over here, and then Rachel over here can pick up where Debbie left off. And then I might go to Joe, and Joe might pick off where Rachel left off. And it was so fascinating. So for those people who have not seen that, jump on Miracles of Consciousness Radio and take a look at that. The point being is that consciousness actually exists outside of us. And what we are is that receiver. So we are actually able to receive information. And I've also learned that the DNA strands are like antenna, and they are encoded with all information. All information. There is a gentleman out there, Robert Edward Grant, that talks about the DNA coding holds as much information in our DNA as, like, I don't know, 1 billion supercomputers. The number is more mind-blowing than you know. So when they say that all information is within, it literally is. So a lot of this is encoded in the DNA strands, and consciousness, it's like a radio. You are the receiver. You can talk to anybody anywhere. And we can do it now just doing energy readings, which is really kind of cool. Who knew I had that ability? But it's 10 years of doing it, every single day. That is why it is so interesting to get people where they can do it themselves, and they don't ever have to rely on me or anybody else again. That's the cool thing.
I think that is the cool thing. I love to, because like the couple girlfriends that I've helped, they do that stuff themselves now. And they even tell me, oh, at my work, I'm telling these, and they're helping people. That's how it's supposed to be. We'll help you, and then you help other people. You get the gift, and then you share the gift, right?
Right. Absolutely. And hopefully people will learn what we've learned and go well beyond that and do more and help even more people. And that is my goal. Look, Suzette, I'm 64 years old. I was born in 1960, and I haven't got that much time left. So I'm about getting as many people tuned into themselves so they can go out there and oh my gosh, the things that you can do when you clear up your energy. I think one of the first things I told you was go out and start dissolving clouds.
Right.
Remember
that? I was trying it the other day.
And people are like, why do you tell me to do that? And I'm saying, because if you can go out and dissolve a cloud, then you know that your thoughts and emotions affect reality.
Yes.
The physical world. That's why you do it. And to program your subconscious mind that every thought I create will come into fruition. It will.
And I do that. I did that the other day when I was laying out in the sun. And another thing is, I always say this, everything always works out for me. And my daughter's like, well, this doesn't look like it. And I said, it doesn't matter what it looks like. Everything's always working out for me. So my situation looked horrible when I was in that toxic situation, but it all worked out into be something that I manifested a house. So
yeah, but you had to get out of that situation. That was situation, and you weren't going.
Right.
You felt stuck. You felt, and I think so many people feel stuck.
They do.
Maybe talk about that point where you felt really stuck. That
Yeah,
point, because everybody feels that.
yes. I felt like, oh my gosh. Well, like I was bumping into everything that wasn't working out. And I said, well, what also another thing, when I was trying to manifest the house when I was in the toxic situation, I was also not trying to get the house in like a loving way. I was wanting to get out of this place right now. So it was in a scarcity way, a toxic
That
way.
that's what we said. Oh yeah, that's right. Because you said, why is it not working for me? And I said,
Right,
because you're manifesting from a place of fear.
right.
That's right. I forgot I said that.
Because you,
And
like you said, I was this 5-year-old girl, even that I'm 55, living in with my mother, and it doesn't matter. Anybody that goes and lives back with their family, they're feeling some kind of childhood something. And I was just like, I want out of this. I want out of this, desperately finding a house, desperately. And I couldn't, God, the universe did not want me to find a house in that way because it was going to be a toxic
well,
house
yeah, well, anytime
or a
you
toxic
you
situation.
manifest anything in fear,
Right,
whatever
right,
that fear emotion is, because there's only two emotions, fear and love, and
right.
everything is a spectrum out of that. When you manifest out of fear, it never works out.
It never did. And at 3 days after that, my regulation was back. My mom messaged me with the house, and that was wild. And then the house, it ends up being the house, and I have nothing but love for the house
And
already.
you know what's really cool about that story? Your mom didn't want you to go. And so for her to say, here's a house to look at, I mean, that's a miracle in of itself.
And we had the conversation after I left that she said she knows why I left, and which was amazing and she took it like I wanted to leave because of her. And I said, Mom, would you want to go live back with your mom? No, that's why. It's not because you. And I went to pick her up. We went out to eat. I took her to the doctors and stuff like that. And our relationship now is amazing. Not everybody's made to live with family all the time. Everybody needs their own space and then get together, when we can. And also for me to be the healer that I am to help people, we kind of need our own space. We don't want to heal people with a toxic situation.
Right.
We need to be in good high vibe energy, which I'm feeling amazing high vibe right now. And I know Sally is. So.
Yep. Well, it hasn't always been easy for me either. So
What?
it hasn't always been easy for me either.
Oh, no.
So,
That's how we get there, right?
no, but it is a tenacity. It is understanding that I have control. I decide what my life is going to be like. But when you have trapped emotional energy, it's almost impossible to get out of that, because those trapped emotions can throw off how you think, how you process that stream of consciousness coming in. It's
Yeah,
almost like having a head injury. You're off balance, right?
Yeah. I
So,
wasn't getting any I get downloads, like I can feel them coming through. I wasn't getting any of that. And it's funny because I hadn't felt like that through my whole spiritual awakening until that time. And it's probably, thank God I went through it, I'm going to say, because now I know what it feels like, what the experience, and I can, if it ever happens to me again, I can know, okay, I'm not seeing these spiritual things like I want to. It's actually made me embrace my spirituality more, because I'd lost it for that minute or a couple of weeks, and I was like, oh no, come back. And then when it does, I get to manifest good and happy things in my life. And when you're in a happy, loving environment, the people around you are too. So you bring the people with you, your family and your kids, and
and sometimes you don't bring everybody, and people have to understand that's okay. It's
no,
okay.
that's okay. No,
And
like I'm not bringing my
ready.
mom, I'm not bringing some of the toxic people, but I'm bringing, whoever's
They'll come when they're ready.
Yeah.
Because we're all moving in that direction. Some of us will take a little longer to get there. That's okay.
Right.
Everybody, you do you.
And that's one thing I do. I accept everybody to where they They are. It's all our own journey. It's on our own path. And I believe that the universe takes us through things like I just went through to learn more and to be on the other side of it, to be able to be the healer that I am.
Yeah.
That's why we experience this.
I think this has been a fascinating story. And if I may, if anybody would like to find me and want energy healing, you can find me at sallyknop.com, and that's SALLY. K is in kitten, N is in Nancy, O is in Oscar, P is in Paul, B is in Paul.com. And where can people find you, Suzette?
Well, you're on my channel right now, so I will put all the links below. I'm on YouTube. I am on Facebook, Coaching with Suzette, and you can't miss me. I'm out there everywhere.
You are. I love it.
And I have a podcast called Beautiful Souls, so we'll be putting that on there. This one on there too. And but I do want to say thank you, Sally. You have helped me so much on my journey. Please reach out to her if you have anything, and reach out to me. We're here to help. That's what we're here to do.
Absolutely. Well, thank
That's our
you.
mission. Thank you so
for
much.
having me. I love it.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for. Let's do this.
Let's do it. Let's talk about it. Let's get people energized so they can start igniting their superhumans in them.
Right. All right, you guys. Thank you so much, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.